Thanks for checking out this video. And for all of you who watched my most recent channel update video, you knew there was going to be a sponsored video coming, and this is that video. The people at Movie Palette had reached out to me. They said, hey, we enjoy your channel. Would you be interested in receiving a free Movie Palette and then getting your own code that your viewers can use if they want to buy the product, and they could get 15% off, and in return, if that code is used, I actually get a little bit of the sales. So no pressure, though. I do want to say up front, no pressure on this. I'm not trying to push people to buy this product. I just want to feature this product as I promised the company that I would, because I think it's interesting. Because I will never, ever feature products that I'm not interested in or think merit me bringing them to the viewers. So if it's something that really strikes your fancy and it's something you're like, yes, that's something I definitely want, go ahead and use my code, because then that benefits both of us. Like I said, you'll get 15% off and I would get a little bit of the sale. It'll be in the description. It is Carlin15, literally my name all run together, Carlin15. I'll have a link to Movie Palette in the description as well as the code reminder. And I'm just going to talk about what Movie Palette really is, because when they reached out to me, I didn't know what Movie Palette was. I was literally like, what is Movie Palette? And then I will end up showing you the Movie Palette that I actually got for free, which some people will laugh about for a certain reason, and I'll talk about that. But so when I first saw it, it's literally artwork. Actually, it's probably best if I just go ahead and show you right now what it looks like. I went with the movie Suspiria. Now, a lot of people are going to laugh because they're like, oh, now you want a piece of artwork from Suspiria when you called it overrated in your 1970s horror movie superlatives. But if you remember, I did say I still really enjoyed the film. I just think it's overrated for the hype. But anyway, this is a gorgeous Movie Palette, and this will set up the expectation for what you will see on the site. This is what a Movie Palette looks like. I'm going to give you a few moments of silence just to take it in to look. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. I can't feature the whole thing, to be honest. It's so big. And it even says, I do want to point out, it even says Suspiria down in the corner. So if, you wanted to point it out to anyone, you wanted to prove it, this is a representation of Suspiria. So looking at this, it makes you ask, okay, I see all these colorful lines. What do these colorful lines signify? Why is this Suspiria? How does this say Suspiria to anyone? So basically, Movie Palette has a team of artists that go through and check out the movies, and they will break down the scenes and pick out the most prominent colors in those scenes. Obviously, Suspiria is a very colorful film. That's what it's known for. So it's a very colorful Movie Palette. It's probably one of the most colorful of the straight up movies. Definitely the most colorful of all the horror movies. So you get a big variation in what those color, what these movie palettes look like based on what movie you would choose. So they have tons of different movies. Like I said, they'll choose each scene what the prominent color is, and then the width of each of the color lines has to do with how long that particular scene is. So they then string it all together, because this is actually 100% chronologically, if you look at it, the entire film of Suspiria from beginning to end, color palette wise. And like I said, the width of each of the colors is representative of how long that is the prominent color within that scene, how long that scene goes on. So beautiful. I think it's wonderful because it's one of those kind of it means a lot more to the person who knows what the film actually is and what the artwork is actually representing. So it's something you would kind of have to explain to some people if you hang it up in your house. But I think it's also this kind of dual purpose of this represents a really awesome movie. And if you decide to buy your own, it would be whatever movie you choose. And that would be really cool, to have a piece of artwork representing one of your favorite films. But also, you can compromise with some people in your household if they're not wanting to see a movie poster of something like Suspiria hung in the main area of your house. This is a lot more palatable for a lot of people. So it's kind of this I don't want to say undercover, but secret nod to the film in a sense, unless you read that it actually, says Suspiria down here. But it's very small. Most people aren't going to see it. It's just a beautiful piece of artwork, in my opinion. The other thing is it's on actual canvas, so it is like quality product, and there's actually like, I mean, you can see that it's actual canvas. I don't know if the texture will show up well enough on there, but, and there's actually like a wooden frame to it, like you would actually do for like real canvas paintings. So it is literally a painting. I think this is a really interesting, cool concept, and that's the reason I said yes when Movie Palette reached out to me. I first looked into it, was like, what is this Movie Palette thing? And then saw it and was like, actually, this is a really cool thing, because it reminds me of when you have a t-shirt from a movie, but it doesn't just say like The Evil Dead or Phantasm or whatever. It's like a little reference. Like one of my favorite ones that I've seen around that only really people would get if they know the film is like An American Werewolf in London. There's a shirt that just has the sign for the slaughtered lamb. Well, a lot of people wouldn't know what that means unless they're big into horror, and they know, oh, the slaughtered lamb is the bar in the beginning of the film before the mauling happens. So I kind of view these as a little bit like that. Like, it's like, if you know type thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Does that make sense to anyone? So I'm going to put this aside real quick, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the ones that are available. And if you don't find on the site the particular one that you want, you can actually pay a little bit more. I think it's like $20 more, it looks like, to have your own movie made up. So that is interesting. But they do have a really large selection, to be honest. So I wrote down all the noteworthy horror titles or horror-ish titles, and I'll go over those really quick. I'm not going to say much about each one. I'm just going to go over them real quick because it's a lot. But they do have other films too. And I will say this, if you're into animated films, the animated ones are super vibrant color-wise, which makes a lot of sense. Like the Into the Spider-Verse film, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that one is gorgeous. They have like Studio Ghibli ones on there, so if anyone's a big Studio Ghibli fan, those look really beautiful as well. But just look around. Another one I considered doing was John Carpenter's The Thing. That one, way more drab color-wise, but it had some really cool splashes of color thrown in there that I think it really looked cool. But in the end, I wanted to go with something a lot more like vibrant, because I am going to hang it up. It won't be like in here because I really don't have the room. Here, it'll be somewhere over there. So I'm going to have it in my main office. This is my basement. So, but let me tell you. So typically the product is between, I mean, it's saying like $130 on here, but they let me know that the one that I got is $120 value, and people will say that is a lot of money. Yes, and that is one of the reasons that I'm saying to you, don't feel pressured to buy these. If it's out of your price range, don't consider it. If it's something you're not interested, please don't consider it. Especially not on my behalf. Like I said, if it's something you would want to buy and you do want to buy, use the code Carlin15. You'll get 15% off. I'll get a little bit out of it, and then we both benefit. But don't feel pressured. Like, you are supporting me enough just by watching videos, just so you know. So that out of the way, let me tell you some of the best ones that some of the best ones that I saw that were not horror movies were like Venom looked really good, Terminator 2 Judgment Day looked really good, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Believe it or not, Showgirls looked really good, Mallrats, which is a movie I love, Hackers, also a movie I love, Coco, Beauty and the Beast, Avatar, and Aladdin. Aladdin might be the most vibrant one on the whole site. That one's really interesting because they animated. Now let me go over the long list of very notable horror titles that I just want to throw out there just to see if anyone's interested in that. 13 Ghosts, A Clockwork Orange, Nightmare on Elm Street, Alien, Aliens, American Psycho, American Werewolf in London, Antichrist. Do you want one for that one? Army of Darkness, Attack the Block, Beetlejuice, Big Trouble in Little China, Blue Velvet, Carrie, Clue, Cube's a great one, Dawn of the Dead, Dead Alive, Evil Dead 2, Edward Scissorhands, Freddy vs. Jason, Get Out, Green Room, Gremlins, Halloween, Hellraiser, Hereditary, Hocus Pocus, House of a Thousand Corpses, I Spit on Your Grave, Jaws, Jurassic Park, Land of the Dead, Little Shop of Horrors, Pet Sematary, Mandy, Martyrs, Midsommar, Nosferatu, Old Boy, almost went with Old Boy, Pan's Labyrinth, Poltergeist, Predator, Psycho, Rear Window, Saw, Scream, Seven, Shaun of the Dead, Sinister, Sleepy Hollow, Suspiria. Getting into the end here. Addams Family, Autopsy of Jane Doe, The Babadook, Cabin in the Woods, The Cell, The Craft, The Crow, The Descent, The Evil Dead, The Exorcist, The Faculty, The Fly, The Frighteners, The Killing of Sacred Deer. Man, that's a heavy movie. The Lost Boys, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Omen, The Ring, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Shining, The Silence of the Lambs, The Thing, The Witch, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, Us, Videodrome, and Wrong Turn. So yeah, sorry to go through all those, but I feel like if I read it off and someone heard one that they really enjoyed, they might go to the site and actually just look at it. But like I said, can be a little bit pricey. At the moment when I'm doing this video, though, they're having a 50% off sale. So I'm assuming that you could use my 15% off on top of the 50%, and then that would knock it down quite a bit. So the ones that I'm seeing on there that are marked at 50% off, it's $65 at the moment. And the custom one, if you want to do the custom one, was $85. So if you take 15% off that, it's going to help you out even more. But like I said, again, I cannot reiterate enough. I'm bringing this product because I believe in it. I think it's very interesting. I think it's beautiful. I think it's cool. If you do not have the means to do it, or you just are not interested, just don't do it. Do not feel pressured. So, but like I said, use the code Carlin15. Go to moviepalette.com. I would have all that information in the description. Hopefully you got all the information you want on this, but if there's something additional that you want to know about Movie Palette, you can go to their website. They have a whole FAQ on there. And then you can also put a comment on this video, and I'll see if I can answer whatever question you may have. Also, if you have questions on particular ones that I thought were really cool as well, or if there are ones that you heard me name and say, I think this one would be cool, or this one would be cool, which one did you think looked the best? I'd be down to answer that, but you might not care about my opinion on that anyway, and that's fine. But thank you, everyone, for checking this out. Thank you, Movie Palette. Thank you, Mark at Movie Palette, for reaching out to me, because this is really pretty awesome. And the one thing I want to add about this, it's a very small thing, but they have one of these it's hard to see, these rubber stoppers down here, just one of them, but that's really cool because once you get it up against the wall, it will keep it from shifting, because the wall gets hit with things, or there's movement. I mean, I kind of live not too far from a proving ground, so it's sometimes my house shakes and it will move artwork on the wall. So with that, it won't move. So that's a really cool thing. But yeah, it's beautiful. I really think it's beautiful, and Suspiria is a good movie, people. It's a very good movie. Overrated to the degree, but it's a beautiful, wonderful film. But anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks Movie Palette. And just thanks for your time to watch this video. Hit subscribe to my channel, though. Hit the notification bell button, all that jazz. And until next time, keep it brutal.